Welcome back to the Stoop Football fans. It's your boy Lolo here with Mark. The rain has stopped for just long enough for us to bring all of our equipment outside, but we still got our little plastic wrap here for
don't want our bums getting
for our
wet.
little booties. But exciting. So the Arsenal match just finished in Europe, and so I got that out of the way. Now all I can focus on right now, Mark,
Is Arsenal.
Is the Stoop Derby. Yes, is more Arsenal. We need more cowbell. We need more Arsenal. More Arsenal in my life. But I'm so excited for the Stoop Derby, and I'm just so concerned with like Arsenal playing so well against two of the bigger opponents, and then we're going up against Leeds at Ellen Road.
Are you saying that Leeds is not a bigger opponent?
I think the league right now.
I think he's saying that Leeds is not the bigger opponent, or a bigger opponent.
So you buy a hat in Yorkshire, and all of a sudden you're the Leeds representative? You better have backup. Oh, okay. So it is a little bit windy. We lost connection. We're back.
So the question is that suddenly I've got a Yorkshire cap, and I'm suddenly the Leeds authority. I am not the Leeds authority, but you know who is?
Well, I mean, we've got lots of people. We've got Ben, we've got Tom, we've got Rhiannon, we've got all sorts of people.
We do, but the number one authority in the U.S., James Reeves.
You calling your own guests these days?
I am calling that guest, damn it.
I thought this was going to be an Arsenal show all about how we're going to win and everything.
Oh, my goodness.
Fine,
You've had enough winning.
Bring him on. James, what's going on, my friend, my soon-to-be enemy for the weekend?
Yeah, I know, man. It's going to be a tough one. I don't know about this one. Arsenal's playing really well. We had a difficult second half against Palace after playing a good 30 minutes, then a decent 15, and then a terrible 45 that second half.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's get into a little bit. What are your initial straight off the top, before we get into what your season has been like so far, what Arsenal's season has been like so far, what is your just off the top Sunday morning or Sunday morning, right? Yeah,
Sunday morning.
So the Sunday morning
Sunday morning at church. Do you want to see Jesus at church? That's the question. You want to see Jesus at church on Sunday morning?
Do not want to see Jesus. It's going to be unfortunately, though, he's going to be there. Jesus will be there, I would assume. It's going to be a rough one, man. Martinelli's playing really well. Saka's playing well. Our fullbacks are going to have their hands full Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon, Leeds time. So it's going to be tough. And then if you concentrate on those two, that leaves Odegaard and Jesus to kind of have their way in the middle of the pitch. It's a situation that's going to be challenging, I think, for Marsh to try to handle especially with the team that we have. I mean, our back four has been kind of hit or miss all season, and we're still struggling to find that center back combination. I think that if we had a left back that was healthy or competent, then I think that it would be Strauch and Koch in that center back pairing. I think they'd be the best pairing that we would have. I mean, Strauch is very athletic and is comfortable with the ball at his feet. And Koch has been really good, solid all season. Poops is just I don't know, and Llorente, of course. And then the fullback situation. I mean, Rasmus played his best game, I think, against Palace in the Leeds.
I agree.
I thought he was solid.
Absolutely.
But it's going to be a new challenge with Martinelli. He did well against Zaha, but Martinelli, I think, is another one who can cause him a lot of problems.
Yeah, and I think it's fair enough to say he did well against Zaha, but I feel like Arsenal this season, there's been matches where Martinelli hasn't gotten an assist or a goal or anything like that, but he just causes enough trouble that exactly like you said, all of a sudden Xhaka's running in there, and everybody's like, wait, what the fuck is Xhaka doing here? Well, it's because they have to put so much attention. So the matches where they shut down Martinelli, Jesus is on the board. Is on the board. Shaka's on the board.
Yeah,
People like that.
Basically, what it comes down to, in this particular case for Leeds, it's going to be pick your poison, but which poison is going to be more lethal, more detrimental to you? It's like, are you happy letting Odegaard and Jesus get their chances and shutting down Saka and Martinelli? There's got to be a combination there somewhere, but if we're talking like initial reaction to this matchup, Leeds has pulled some shit out of a hat. We all know the legendary, a man down beating City. You beat Chelsea earlier this season, although I think Chelsea, I'm sorry, Najee, for saying this, but I think Chelsea's not as good as they were last year.
I think they're getting better.
They could be getting better, but who knows? I don't know. But this could be a game that Leeds just, this is something that a little magic happens at Ellen Road.
It would be so typical Leeds to lose to Palace, to draw to Villa. But to beat Chelsea and to beat like the unbeatable Arsenal right now, the team that everybody's scared of, which I still don't buy that shit, but
you should, because it's your last two games.
I
know we've been saying it on the show and in our lead off video card, whatever we want to call that, the title. Still haven't beaten anybody. Look, you beat Liverpool, you beat Tottenham, you've beaten some teams that in the past may have kind of fallen into that loss column. No, you're not unbeatable, because Man United took care of that. But you guys are playing excellent football right now.
Yeah, Arsenal's in the top 5 of all the major categories that count. Goals against, goals for. They're good. They're good in all of those categories. Leeds, the only category that we're the top at is tackles. So we're number 1 in tackles, and we're also number 1 in fouls committed, I think.
Yeah, well, Jesus has the most fouls committed against him in this on the year. So here we go.
Which means he has the most minutes rolling around on the pitch.
So I see Arsenal getting a penalty at some point.
Oh yeah. Well, so here's
it's going to be, it's going to be very difficult. Like I said, you forget all about Xhaka, right? Look, if the middle of the pitch is open, and that leaves, Odegaard and Xhaka and Jesus to kind of run free in that middle of the pitch. If Martinelli and Saka can just kind of take everything wide, that leaves us at a distinct disadvantage. That puts a lot of pressure on, especially on Tyler Adams and Roca to kind of commandeer that midfield and to disrupt anything that might happen in the middle of the pitch. It's going to be difficult. I don't know. Marsh is going to have his work cut out for him, so we'll see.
Absolutely. And, not to toot my own Arsenal horn here, but something that I've seen this season that is completely different to seasons past is that when we start feeling like we're stuck and the game plan isn't working, all of a sudden you see, like, what the hell is Saka doing on the left side now? And Martinelli's in the middle, and Jesus is out wide, or like Xhaka's now playing winger.
Right.
They switch it up in the game so that you don't. So as soon as the other team gets comfortable, like, okay, I've got a handle on Martinelli,
Right.
all of a sudden, Rasmus turns around and he's got Saka to deal with, and you're like, wait, where's Martinelli? And that has been something that I feel has given us that edge, because I still feel like we can be got at. I still feel like there are goals to be had. I don't feel like we'll keep a clean sheet.
And I think you just brought up something really interesting that kind of like goes along with what I've been saying for quite a while, is that like Saka doesn't like a physical play. He doesn't enjoy that. That's what I see. Right or wrong, I don't know. But that switch might not work, because Rasmussen on Saka, that's not a good matchup for Arsenal. That neutralizes Saka as far as I'm concerned, because Rasmussen is so goddamn fucking physical.
But then they switch it again. They can switch it again and switch it again. Or you go right at him and hope to make him make a dumb mistake and give him a yellow card.
Then that's a thing. Then that's the thing. But you know,
no,
I think Saka is going to struggle with the physicality in this match.
Possibly.
You know, but again,
that's going to be up to Strauch. I mean, Strauch's a very physical player, of course, and he'll probably be playing left back again. That's kind of his forte, right? Because he's a natural center back, so he'll be playing a left back again, and he's going to, you know, that's going to. I mean, they're going to have to neutralize somebody, because you can't allow those players to have their way with you, and you have to. You know, I mean, like Lolo was saying, I mean, you know, they put so much pressure on defenses. So, and that's in turn is going to put a lot of pressure, as I said, on our midfield defenders, the tandem of Roca and Adams, to kind of disrupt anything before it even gets back to the back four. You know, that's kind of going to be their job. So I don't know if they're going to maybe play a little bit deeper. I don't know what's going to happen there, but yeah, we're going to have to play an error-free match. You know, I mean, the margin for error for a team like Leeds against a team like Arsenal is very, very slim. And so, you know, no mistakes. We're going to play a much better game than we played, you know, the past couple of weeks. And we're going to have to figure out a way to score. I mean, right? I mean, we're not scoring goals. We're getting some opportunities, but they're, you know, not being converted. And so that's an issue as well. So I don't know if maybe you juggle the lineup a little bit. You know, you send him. I mean, Bamford, I don't know if he's, you know, 100% fit at this point. But you know, you're going to have to figure out a way to get him involved, or to get someone else involved who can score goals. Because you know, we're going to have to. This is not going to be. I don't see a 0-0 draw here. So we're going to put the ball in the net.
Absolutely, absolutely.
James, this is something that you and I, at least on the text chain, didn't agree with. I feel like Bamford hurts you when he's on the pitch right now. Maybe it's because he's not fully fit, but I feel like your season started to decline when Rodrigo got injured, because he came out so hot that teams had to pay that respect. So all of a sudden, Aronson had a bit more space. Tyler Adams and Roca had this nice triangle going on in the middle where they could get a little space. That gave Jack Harrison space. That gave your winger space. Bamford isn't getting that sort of credit or that love because he can't outpace a lot of people. He hasn't been finishing. And so I feel like he's kind of wasted space right now, maybe because he's not fit. So, like, if you have a healthy Rodrigo or a healthy Sinisterra, who should be back from his red card, they have it. Basically, you can go the Spurs route and try to sit back like they did against Arsenal and got punished. You can go the Liverpool route of starting 4 frickin' strikers and going at us and getting punished in minute 1 when that didn't work out. Stayed in the game for a long time, and they just played punch-back football, which was very entertaining. But in the end, we still overcame that. So for me, with Leeds United, I don't feel like you have the defense to try and do what Spurs did. And if you sat back, we're going to get goals. Or, as you said, a penalty. So I feel like y'all need to come at us and play a punch-back game. Play a, if you score 3, we'll score 4 sort of match.
Yeah. I think so, too. And I think what you said earlier, too, about Aronson, I think earlier in the season, you know, everything kind of went through Aronson, you know, and he kind of dictated matches. And but teams have now, you know, they're you can see how many times he gets fouled during the course of a match. I mean, it's tremendous, right? I mean, he gets his legs taken out on, I mean, at least, you know, 5 to 10 times a match. I mean, so teams are, I think, are starting. I mean, one of the sort of what they've been told by their managers is they'll go out, you know, rough this guy up a little bit, show him the way we do things here in the Premiership, and you know, see if he can handle it. I mean, because we're gonna, and they want to take him out of the game. And so I think like last week in the second half, Palace completely took him out of the game, and then of course, you know, Marsh substituted him. But
I mean, your goal, your one goal was essentially should have been his goal. some amazing play.
Yeah.
But for me, like a player like that, it's the same thing. Not comparing him to Messi, but saying like if Messi has the ball in the middle of the pitch, knock him on his ass.
Sure.
You have to. You have to.
And then I think that's the message that that other teams have received is that look, let's be physical with this guy and see if he can take the punishment.
Especially when he's your only playmaker. He's the only guy being like, to me, he's the biggest threat on the pitch for you guys. Yes, Jack Harrison will score goals, Sinistera, all these guys will score goals, but if you control him, so to me, if Thomas Partey takes care of Aronson, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
We will get our goal eventually.
Sure.
We will get our goal eventually.
I want to take a moment and go back to what you were saying about Bamford hurting the team, or he's not quite fit. I think Bamford is I think he's as fit as can be. I think he's had time to heal. What I don't think he's had time for is time within Marsh's system. We're only 9 games into the season. He played all of 2 under Marsh last season. I don't think he's had an opportunity yet to kind of gel. I did like having Rodrigo in that spot earlier in the season. I say bring Bamford off the bench at the 60th, 70th minute. Give him 25 minutes. See what he can do, acclimate to the game plan, and then eventually give him back his starting position. I don't think.
Listen, Mark.
I don't think fitness is an issue. I don't think he hurts Leeds.
It's not game plan. If he can't finish a shot, that's not game plan.
When has he ever finished a shot?
That's true. That's true. And then the one time he did, he goes and slides and re-injures his leg.
Right? He hurts himself celebrating.
So what are your hopes for this match, James? Or I guess hopes or on it?
What are your dreams, James?
No, for this match, you got to say you'd be happy to leave with a point, right?
Oh, definitely.
I'm not being condescending or anything, right?
My hope is that it's a competitive match and that we're in it till the end with a chance to maybe steal 3 points. I mean, if it's 1-1 or something like that going into the 75th minute, I'll be happy. We have 20 minutes or so, counting injury time to maybe steal 3 points, or who knows. I mean, I just want to be competitive. I don't want to be down 3-0 at halftime or something. I don't want anything like that, or I just want it to be close, and so that maintains my interest and keeps my hopes alive, no matter how desperate I may be.
That just made me start thinking about the match today that we had against Bodo Glimt, where I think if y'all looked at that match and went a similar route. Now, yes, we didn't have all of our A team in there, but eventually most of them were on the pitch. Partey, Xhaka, Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard, all of them were on the pitch at some point. They came at us. They were like, fuck it, let's go. And then when we got the ball, that's when they came back and sort of put up a wall. And we got our goal just from really amazing footwork from Saka, who made something happen. But we beat them 1-0. They had 3 clear chances that they just blasted over the bar. It was Matt Turner, our keeper, oh fuck. And all 3 of those should have been goals. Yeah. Now maybe we go score after that, but I felt like that was the way to do it, was some counterattacking when we start to push forward, because we do push forward and we play wide. So cutting through the middle, counterattack, balls over the top, that's how Liverpool scored. That could be the way to do it, and Bamford is not the one you want up top for that. I'm sorry, he's not Jamie Vardy.
Fair enough.
But if you had Rodrigo or Sinistera... I wouldn't mind
seeing Joffrey get a start, or even... Sonny Perkins or someone like that, or Willie Ginanto, or I think that Marsh is going to have to kind of shuffle the deck a little bit, and he's going to have to adapt. I mean, this is going to be a match that's going to call for him, I think, to see to initially maybe take a couple of punches and see what's happening, and then adapt to that. I don't think we're going to be able to dictate anything from the get-go like we did last weekend. I think it's going to be more of kind of some punching, counter punching, and then see if we can land a knockout blow. I mean, it's going to be it's going to be a very tactical match, and Marsh is going to have to earn his paycheck. It's just going to be about substitutions. I think it may come down to substitutions, may come down to changes in formation. Who knows? I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'm not dreading it. So.
Yeah. The one thing that for me that I think would be like the most worrisome for Leeds. I mean, you mentioned the Arsenal counterattack. You mentioned all the weapons they have, but their press is fucking ridiculous. And if somehow Leeds can stand up to that and handle that, I think they've got a fighting chance.
Yeah, they have a very high press, Arsenal does, and it's given us a lot of trouble over the past couple seasons.
Yeah, that's been the difference maker for a lot of these games. But if Leeds can handle Arsenal's press very well, I think, in the words of Lloyd Christmas, you're saying they've got a chance.
Right.
Saying there's a chance. So what are we going with our predictions?
I don't want to insult. I don't want to insult people, but this. Arsenal is playing so well. And Leeds right now, since Rodrigo's shoulder injury, haven't been playing that well. Man, Arsenal's been scoring goals lately. This might have 4-0 written on it. I'm very sorry to say that, but the proof is in the pudding, as they say.
James,
Melier doesn't necessarily keep clean sheets, but maybe there is a Leeds goal that gets in there because Arsenal definitely is sleeping with some dirty laundry.
Yeah, I mean, I also see 4 goals in this, but I'm going 3-1. I do think Leeds will get 1, and I think as a consolation prize, Jesus will get his 5th yellow card against you, which I know you guys wanted last week, so he wouldn't be playing, but so, James, I know you'll never pick Leeds to lose, as you said, but I still need a prediction from you right here. So,
I'm going 2-1 Leeds.
Wow, there
the magic of Ellen Road. We bounced back from that horrific second half against Palace. We put it together. We play nearly an error-free match. I think, like I said, I see Arsenal scoring on a penalty. And but we take it 2-1. It's 1-1. My ideal scenario, 1-1, going into like the 80th minute. We score a late goal, 2-1.
All right, man. Well, I tell you what, if it happens,
if it's gonna happen, Ellen Road is gonna have to be a lot more rocking than you were against the Villains.
I feel like they will be no matter what because
that
they have to be.
Got to be a kettle boil out in the stands.
Well, if that happens, James,
that match put everyone to sleep, right? I mean, that was kind of Gerrard's whole goal was, taking the crowd out of the match. The delaying tactics. It was a horrible match to have to watch. I mean, it took football back, 2 decades, 3 decades.
All right, James. Well, if that happens, if Leeds United do beat Arsenal, I will go to New Orleans and I will buy you some beer. And as mad as my wife might get at me, I will be at your house at 8 a.m. for.
Yes.
8 a.m.
I want a poem.
And we will do
I want a poem. I want a haiku.
We'll do an on the stoop from my stoop.
I want something.
We'll do an on the stoop from there.
From the on the veranda with James.
He has a little mini.
My brother has the veranda. I just have a stoop. Oh. Yes, my brother has the gallery and the veranda. I have the stoop.
Fantastic.
All right, man.
I look forward to seeing that.
Well, it's been a lot of fun. We'll catch you maybe happy hour or next week to maybe a little post game. We'll see.
That's the one.
And then hopefully I don't see you in New Orleans.
Hopefully you do, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Hopefully you do.
I'm going to try to come over either way, but if Leeds win, I will go ahead and get in trouble with my family.
All right, sounds good.
To go over. All right, man.
Leeds.
Peace out, guys.
All right.